It was April 1991 in the peaceful town of Clinton, Missouri. Angela Hammond, just 20 years old, was happily engaged and expecting a baby. Life felt safe and calm in a place where everyone knew each other. But on the night of April 4th, everything changed. At 11:45 p.m., Angela made a call to her fiancé, Rob, from a payphone. She was tired and decided to go home instead of meeting up with him. During the call, something terrible happened. Rob heard Angela scream, and then the line went dead. The girl who had her whole life ahead of her vanished. No one has heard from her since. The disappearance of Angela Hammond left Clinton in shock and her family heartbroken. What really happened that night? Where is Angela? Is she still alive? Or perhaps did something much worse happen to her? Join us as we dive into this haunting mystery, explore the theories, look at the suspects, and try to piece together what might have happened to Angela Hammond. Angela Hammond was an outgoing 20-year-old known to everyone as Angie. She was born in 1971 in Kansas City to Marcia and Chris Hammond. When she was 4, her family moved to Clinton, Missouri, and her parents had another daughter named Lauren. Despite their parents' divorce, Angela and her sister had a happy life. In 1990, Angela met Rob Schaefer, a star athlete from high school, and they soon started dating. She had just graduated from Montrose High School and was popular in Clinton, Missouri. And just a year later, Angela was 4 months pregnant and got engaged to Rob. They settled into a small trailer park home, and while Angela continued school and work, Rob planned to join the military. When he gave her a diamond engagement ring, he promised to always take care of her. Little did he know what plans fate had, and how he would be the last to see her alive. Angela also had a best friend, Kyla Engerman, who described her as intelligent and energetic. Kyla said she always knew how to have fun, and everybody loved being around her. On the evening of April 4th, 1991, Angela and Rob attended a family barbecue. Around 9 p.m., they had to leave because Rob needed to babysit his little brother. And so Angela chose to spend time with Kyla while waiting for Rob's parents to return home so she and Rob could hang out later. As decided, Angie dropped Rob off at his house and said she would call him later. According to Rob, that was about 10 o'clock. I was going to meet her back uptown as soon as my mom got home. I was watching my little brother at the time, and she called later on that night. By 11:15 p.m., Angela and Kyla parted ways. Around the same time, Angie decided to call Rob from a payphone to let him know she was heading home to take a bath. She was tired, but chatted with Rob for about half an hour. She was using a payphone in the parking lot of the Food Barn, a grocery store on 210th South 2nd Street. It's important to note that the payphone was at the corner of 2nd and Jefferson Streets, just 7 blocks from Rob's house. While she chatted with Rob, she noticed an older green Ford F-150 pickup truck driving around the block a few times. Angela told Rob that the truck was from the 1970s and had a fish decal in the back window. The truck seemed out of place, and Angela felt uneasy. The man driving the truck was described by Angela as a filthy-looking bearded man. He parked his truck and walked up to the payphone next to Angela's. Then he went back to his truck and grabbed a flashlight. Angela saw him waving the flashlight around as if he was searching for something. Feeling uncomfortable, she decided to ask him if he needed to use her payphone, thinking the other phone might be broken. The man declined, saying he would try again in a minute. Angela and Rob continued their conversation, not overly concerned, until the truck parked by the payphone. That's when the call took a horrifying turn. Rob said, "I heard her scream. The only thing that went through my mind was getting up there and finding out what the hell was going on. I just dropped the phone and ran out of the house." Rob rushed to his car and drove toward the payphone. On his way, he saw an older green Ford truck speeding past him. Someone yelled out of the truck, "Robbie!" Rob realized it was Angie. He turned around and chased the truck through downtown. Unfortunately, Rob's car had transmission issues. As he made a sharp turn, the transmission failed and his car stalled. Rob could only watch as the truck carrying Angie disappeared from sight. Rob said, "It started dying as I was making my right turn. This guy turned off to the right. All I saw was his brake lights and dust." Rob's attempt to chase the truck lasted almost 2 miles before his car broke down. He watched helplessly as the truck carrying Angela drove away. After his car stalled, Rob had no choice but to walk back to town, where a passerby eventually picked him up and took him to the police station. She has never been seen or heard from since. Angela was a white woman with brown eyes and light brown hair. She was 4'11" tall and weighed approximately 140 pounds at the time of her disappearance. She was last seen wearing a white shirt with black spots, black slacks, and tennis shoes. The green Ford truck that Angela saw was described as having a nature scene painted on the back window, featuring water with a fish jumping out. It might have had a white top and damage to the front left fender. Soon after Angela Hammond disappeared, the investigation started quickly. At first, police were suspicious of Rob Schaefer, as he was the last one to have seen her. His story about the night of her abduction seemed almost too coincidental. However, after Rob took a polygraph test and the police conducted a thorough investigation, they ruled him out as a suspect. Angela's mother, Marcia Cook, shared her thoughts on Rob's struggle, saying Rob blamed himself for it because he always told her he'd be there to take care of her. And he tried. He did everything that could be done. Nobody blames him, but I think he thinks that people blame him. Rob often reflected on that night. The beginning is the hardest because you know you were close enough to get him, but you just didn't get the job done. And you still wake up at nights, wondering where she's at, wondering what happened, wondering if anybody's still looking. You're just wondering all the time. The focus then shifted to finding the man who had been seen near the payphone. Witnesses described him as wearing coveralls, a dark baseball hat, and glasses. He had a scruffy beard and mustache. With a detailed description, the search for this man became a top priority. Over 250 people, including police officers, family members, and friends of Angela, joined the search. They scoured the area by air and on the ground. They placed posters with Angela's picture and information in shops, truck stops, and other places around town, hoping someone might recognize her. They left nothing. Water wells, creek beds, fields, old country roads, barns, and abandoned buildings. 11 days into the search, the Missouri Rural Crime Scene Squad was called in for extra help. Nearby towns and counties pitched in, and the Missouri Highway Patrol assisted with checking any registered vehicles that matched the description of the green Ford pickup truck. Unfortunately, none of the leads panned out. Angela's kidnapping shocked the town of Clinton. The search continued, but finding the truck remained the best hope for solving the case. Detective Damon Parsons of the Clinton Police Department explained the challenge. We had some assistance from the Missouri State Highway Patrol that did a computer search on all registered vehicles. Through their help, we had 1,600 possibilities that we had to check, as far as color and whether they had any mural in the back window. Despite checking all these possibilities, none matched the truck they were looking for. The search for Angela continued, but the case remained unsolved. Like many theories that emerge in complex investigations, one possible link between Angela Hammond's abduction and other unsolved cases surfaced soon after the incident. The police connected Angela's disappearance to 2 other disturbing cases within 100 miles of Clinton. The first case involves Trudy Darby, who was working alone at a convenience store near Max Creek, Missouri on January 19, 1991. Trudy, 42, had called her son to report a suspicious man hanging around outside the store. Her son arrived shortly after, but found the store empty. Tragically, 2 days later, Trudy's body was discovered on a riverbank, 10 miles from the store. She had been fatally shot twice in the head. A month later, Cheryl Ann Kenny, a 30-year-old, went missing from a convenience store in Nevada, Missouri, about 70 miles from where Trudy's body was found. Cheryl disappeared on February 28, 1991, and she has not been seen since. Then, just a few weeks after Cheryl went missing, Angela Hammond was abducted on April 4, 1991. Detective Damon Parsons believed that these cases might be connected. According to him, if Angela is found, her case could potentially link to Trudy Darby's murder. Similarly, if Cheryl Ann Kenny is discovered, it might provide clues that connect all three cases. So basically, this theory suggested that there could be a common thread tying these disappearances and tragedies together. The hope is that solving one of these cases might help solve the others and bring justice to the victims and their families. Then, many years later, another theory emerged. On the 30th anniversary of Angela Hammond's disappearance, the Clinton, Missouri Police Department shared an important update on their Facebook page. They wanted Angela's family and the public to know that the case is still very much active. The police revealed that there are several open leads in the case. One significant lead comes from the Lake of the Ozarks region. The update also mentioned a peculiar letter that came into play during a major drug investigation. This letter, which looked like something out of a kidnapping movie, was sent to a confidential informant who had played a key role in stopping the drug operation. The letter, dated April 4, 1991, the same night Angela disappeared, was a strange mix of cut-and-paste characters and mentioned the informant's estranged wife and his daughter, who was also named Angela. At that time, both the informant's wife and daughter lived in Clinton, Missouri. This led investigators to believe that Angela Hammond might have been mistaken for the informant's daughter. This theory suggests that a criminal organization might have taken the informant's daughter in retaliation, but somehow ended up with Angela Hammond instead, possibly because they resembled each other physically. In addition to this lead, an anonymous caller contacted the police, providing information about Angela Hammond's case and mentioning two specific names. However, the caller did not leave a way for the police to get back in touch. The Clinton Police Department's Facebook post ended with a plea. If that person is reading this message, please recontact us so that we can speak with you in real time. We will protect your identity or assure your anonymity. But even after all these theories, all these clues, no evidence has emerged, and the case remains cold, as it has for many years. Now the question is, what really happened to Angela Hammond on that fateful night? Let's piece together the clues and theories we have to form the most plausible scenario. The first person that organically comes to mind is Angela's fiancé, Rob Schaefer. It's because he was nearby and actually witnessed the abduction. But he was quickly cleared of any involvement. So do we think Rob was involved? Well, not quite. If we look at Rob Schaefer's alibi and motive, it is no doubt that he was just 7 blocks away from Angela when she was taken. But upon hearing her scream, he rushed to her location. This quick response shows that Rob was trying to help, not hurt. His visible distress and the actions he took point to someone deeply troubled by what was happening, not someone orchestrating it. And even if Rob had been involved, he wouldn't have risked his own safety by chasing after the abductor. Now consider the timing and Rob's actions. He saw Angela struggling with a man in a truck and immediately made a U-turn to follow them. Rob was able to provide detailed information about the truck, including a unique nature scene painted on the back window. If Rob were involved in the abduction, why would he give such specific details? Why would he chase the truck only to have his car malfunction and become helpless? His actions fit the profile of a witness trying to stop a crime rather than someone involved in orchestrating it. Then there's a lack of motive. Angela was pregnant and Rob was her fiancé. If Rob had a motive, it might involve personal issues or financial troubles. However, there is no evidence to suggest he had any reason to harm Angela. On the contrary, his efforts to assist and his distress point to a genuine concern for her well-being. So, considering Rob Schaefer's actions, timing, and lack of motive, it is highly unlikely that he was involved in Angela Hammond's abduction. This leaves us with the possibility that Angela's disappearance might have been the work of a criminal organization. Here's why this seems most likely. Angela reported seeing an older green Ford pickup truck circling the block before the abduction. The truck was distinctive, with a nature scene painted on the back window. This specific detail suggests the abductor was not a random individual, but someone who had premeditated the crime. The presence of a unique truck might indicate that the abductor was a part of a group that had planned the abduction carefully. And let's not forget the ransom note. The mysterious letter sent to a confidential informant during the same period as Angela's abduction is another crucial clue. The letter seemed to be a ransom note, and it was sent on April 4, 1991, which was the same day Angela disappeared. It was meant for an informant who had testified against a criminal organization. This strongly points to the possibility that Angela was mistaken for the informant's daughter. The letter mentioned a name similar to Angela's, which might have led to a tragic mix-up. Although there were other cases of abductions and disappearances around the same time, such as those of Trudy Darby and Cheryl Ann Kenny, these are less likely to be directly related to Angela's case. The similarities in the timing and location might suggest a pattern of crime, but the specific details of Angela's case, like the unique truck and the ransom note, make her abduction stand out. Putting all these pieces together, it seems most plausible that Angela Hammond's abduction was the result of a criminal organization's attempt to get back at a confidential informant. The mistaken identity due to the similar names could have led to Angela being taken instead of the informant's daughter. All these clues point towards a tragic case of mistaken identity linked to criminal activity, and that's what we think actually happened. Angela wasn't even the intended target. It was supposed to be the informant's daughter, not her. So is there a chance she might be alive? And if so, how could she remain hidden for 33 years? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you love our content and want to support our channel, do check out our web shop where you can find exclusive true crime merch brought to you by Bad Things.